For years, TikTok has held the #1 spot in being the Gen Z cyberspace. What started off as being an app for memes and dance moves has now become the foundation for many young people's lives, from dictating how they dress to what political beliefs they hold. For Gen Z, TikTok has been the home of pop culture moments, memes, trends, edits, and a sense of identity. TikTok has also recently been the main catalyst for the more important things such as world issues, the success of businesses, and acting as an extra source of income for some creators. So what's the US government's issue, and why would they want to ban TikTok? TikTok has been accused by the US government of storing and selling users' data. But doesn't every social media app and website do this? Yes, but the problem is that this data is allegedly being sold to China, who aren't exactly friends of America.
I'm really not that worried yet about TikTok getting banned. I think people forget that nothing has actually been announced yet. I don't know why news outlets have started reporting that it's not looking good for TikTok. The Supreme Court hasn't said anything. Nothing has been announced yet, you guys. It's really confusing because you have news publications saying it's not looking good for TikTok. And then you have lawyers and publicists or journalists rather that were inside the Supreme Court hearing that are saying it's looking good for TikTok. New information comes out every single day. I don't really know who to believe, so I'm not believing any of it. All TikTok said is we will follow the law if it is passed. And people took that as oh, it's for sure gone. It's not the case.
Many people are still skeptical about the TikTok ban, despite it not being too far away at all. This is because the previous attempts to ban TikTok, for example Trump in 2020, have been swept under the rug, and the US government have been starting to look like the boy who cried wolf. However, it seems like the government is for real this time. Although the previous times have been false alarms, it's still possible for TikTok to be banned in the US, as it has been in other countries such as India and Afghanistan. The US Congress has passed the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act, which forbids distributing, maintaining, or providing internet hosting services for a foreign adversary controlled application, in this case, TikTok. So, what does this mean? Well, the bill forbids applications controlled by the US adversary countries, China, from being updated and maintained in the US. Therefore, TikTok will no longer be downloadable from the app stores and will no longer receive their regular automatic updates designed to improve security or fix bugs, which means that the app will get slower and slower over time until it becomes unable to use. Is this the start of TikTok's slow death? Despite the Americans being not so keen on moving to a new app, but they're also not mad at TikTok CEO Xiaozi Chu, who refuses to sell TikTok to a US company. This is because the majority of Americans on TikTok don't believe that a US company could handle TikTok well or replicate the current version of it.
Chinese people know how to run it, but in the US there's nothing like it. There's really no one here that, in my opinion, knows how to run TikTok the way that TikTok runs.
This is because the majority of Americans on TikTok don't believe that a US company could handle TikTok well or replicate the current version of it, especially with America's capitalist tendencies. Some think that they would turn TikTok into a mini corporate America where you'd have to pay for extra features. Things aren't looking too good in the UK either. The argument that UK TikTok is boring has been speculating amongst British users who say that they will also migrate to whatever app will be TikTok's replacement, along with the Americans, as it's been claimed that they were the ones who carried TikTok with their great influence.
I'm gonna miss the Americans so badly. My Shayla!
Please don't ban TikTok for Americans, please. Bro, you can't live with these lot.
How will this affect everyone? Well, if TikTok will definitely be banned, US content creators will have to migrate as well as its users. Possible TikTok replacements such as apps Rednote and Lemonade have been suggested, but the Americans don't seem too keen. Since a possible great shift to yet another social media app is underway, what does this mean for content creation overall? Will there be an influx of YouTube and Instagram content? Will we go back to long-form videos? Or will we just use the short-form sections of the apps we still have left? Since its popularity surged in 2020, TikTok became the home of influencers and content creators looking to make a living off of their talents, or lack thereof. But now that TikTok is leaving, will their careers do the same? This could bring us back to a time when content creation wasn't considered a real job. The top 1% of TikTokers won't be affected due to the many other streams of income they have made for themselves, especially the ones who've been on the app for a long time. However, smaller creators who may just use TikTok as a side hustle will no longer reap the benefits of the Creator Fund, which many people are stressed about.
I made $3,600 on the TikTok Creator Fund in the last month, and that is just so insane that TikTok is going to be banned, and this is the kind of impact it's going to have on creators. This is a ton of money. This pays my rent and more every single month, and luckily for me, the bulk of my income comes from brand partnerships. So this is just an additional revenue stream for me, but the amount of small creators that work full-time 9-to-5 jobs and do TikTok as a side hustle are able to use this money to make such an impact in their lives. And it is just so sad to me that this app is going to get banned, because actually when they started launching this creator program, they really do pay their creators well. Like, I don't make anywhere near this amount of money on Instagram Reels. When I quit my full-time job, this is what I was making in a month off of working 40 hours each week.
This puts into perspective just how much money is being exchanged between different parties and how beneficial using the TikTok Creator Fund as an extra source of income was for average Americans. By the end of 2024, $24 billion had been expected to be circulating the influencer marketplace, and $1.25 billion of that is being paid or exchanged to TikTok influencers as a result of influencer marketing. Speaking of money, businesses will also be greatly affected. TikTok is responsible for the amount of businesses which have gone viral on this app, whether that be through a meme or something as simple as a sound. Money aside, TikTok has built a community space for Gen Z, and losing the app would be taking that away from an already pretty introverted generation. Who would Gen Z be without TikTok? The platform has provided a distraction from everyday life and has brought people together through hard times like COVID with fun trends, memes, and challenges. These things may sound applicable to every other social media app, but there truly is nothing like TikTok. Aww. Which is why people still have hope that the ban will be lifted. And that was yesterday. Today, on January 19th, Americans received a rude awakening, which was a pop-up message informing them that TikTok is not available right now. I guess they should have taken the right now into consideration a bit more, because in the last few hours, Americans have been posting again saying that TikTok is back.
I'm a little confused because like 12 hours ago, I was kicked off this app, right? Like everybody else was. But now I can like fully record a video in here. And I can like check my notifications and scroll on my For You page. Perhaps I can even post this. We'll see.
Which is great for many of them, except for the ones who expose themselves in a recent trend where famous influencers admit what they did for views. The only confirmation we can hope for right now is Donald Trump giving TikTok a 90-day extension to avoid the ban, which he said he is most likely to announce on his inauguration day, January 20th.
I said, TikTok without my approval, meaning the president's approval, because Congress gave the president the right to make a deal, do whatever he wants, and they did that a long time ago when they had a different president. They didn't know that I was going to be the president, I guess. So I said, I'll approve, but let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok.
Fast forward to January 21st, TikTok is now back for good and has confirmed this to users with another pop-up message commending now US President Donald Trump for his efforts to bring TikTok back. Whilst many American users have decided to go about their scrolling once again, suspicions have risen of the whole quick unbanning of TikTok being a part of Trump propaganda. Some American users have made suggestions that the TikTok algorithm has been rewired to be in support of the new president, with any comments that talk negatively about Trump or even TikTok itself being censored, a lack of protest videos which used to be quite popular on the app, and specific TikToks not being sent as links. Take a look.
Okay, I don't ever post this type of content, but something bad happened while we were gone. Because if you're like me and you got this app back and you were immediately like, something's off here, it's because it is. Okay, the first red flag was the two messages we got from TikTok. The one when it was leaving said that we're working with President Trump to save it, and the one when we got back saying that President Trump saved it. And now comments are being censored by the pound. I just saw a creator's video talking about how every single comment in her comment section, if it involves Trump, if it talks negatively about TikTok at all, she has to approve it. She has thousands and thousands and thousands of comments that she has to manually approve because they're being censored. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are no more protest videos. There are protests happening all over the country because of the inauguration tomorrow, and I haven't seen a single damn one of them. But what really, really hit me is that for the past hour, my friends and I have been sharing TikToks into our Messenger group chat, and we've had no problem. Until I sent a video talking about how, I can't remember his name, like Zhao. If you go to his reposts, he's reposting MAGA shit. And I sent that video to our group chat. It didn't send as a link. Every other video I sent as a link to TikTok, but not that one. And I'm sure you've noticed that lives are gone. And I'm sitting here scratching my head being like, that makes no sense. Like, why wouldn't we be able to have lives? Is it because you can't censor something that's happening live? We are all getting pro-Trump videos on our For You pages.
Anyway, we'll see what happens in the coming months. Maybe more will be revealed and we'll find out if the TikTok ban really was Trump propaganda all along. In the meantime, keep watching HSE Productions.